everyone, welcome to Pai's Kitchen. Today I am making a dish that I have been falling in love with so much. It's a dish called Shakshuka, which is super fun to say. Also, it is so delicious. It's a dish that originated in Northern Africa, although today it's eaten in the Middle East and it's becoming really popular in North America. It's tomato sauce with eggs cooked right in the tomato sauce, and in North America at least it's a very popular breakfast brunch dish now, but as I understand it, people eat this for dinner or lunch or any time of day. It's super easy, super delicious. Let's get started. So let's start out with the tomato sauce. Okay, so I've got in this pot here just some olive oil, and I'm gonna turn it on. And right away, I'm gonna add my chopped onion. Now, when you're cooking with olive oil, it's a low smoking point oil. You don't wanna get it too hot. To help the onions cook, I'm gonna add some salt, and the salt will draw out liquid from the onions, and it will help the onions soften even faster, okay? So shakshuka is not just good old tomato sauce. It's tomato sauce with lots of spices. And so I've got here some cumin seeds, which is the most important thing. I've toasted this ahead of time so I don't have to worry about toasting it in the pot. And I've also got some coriander seeds. You don't have to do this, but I love coriander seeds, so why not, right? I'm gonna grind these fresh. Oh, it smells so good already. Ooh. All right, so that's done. We'll give the onion a stir every once in a while. So the onions will take quite a bit of time, so you don't have to be here constantly looking at it. All right, so the onion is soft and translucent now. I'm going to add some chopped garlic. And I'm adding the garlic after because I find garlic tends to burn more easily if you add it at the same time. Some green bell peppers. Woohoo! I don't use green bell peppers very much. I feel like this is the first time I've ever used it on the show, but I think it adds a nice color and also flavor to this. If you want to go red, that's cool too. So now we're gonna cook that for a few more minutes. All right, so that to me looks perfect. The onion's super soft and translucent. I'm getting a little bit of browning around the edges of the pot too. The spices are gonna go in. So the ground cumin and coriander, must have some paprika. So this is not just regular paprika, but smoked paprika. Some cayenne pepper for some heat. Woo! Get that stirred up because you want the spices to really get into the oil. The oil is your vehicle to infusing the rest of the dishes. That looks wonderful. It smells even better. Going in with tomatoes. So I've got here some canned diced tomatoes. If you've got whole, that's totally fine too. You just have to break it up with a spoon. Ooh, and make sure it's unsalted. So important. Look at that. Oh, yes. So good. Shower it with tons and tons of black pepper. This is the consistency that you want it to be at the end, but this is not the end yet because it's got to simmer for 20 minutes at least so that the flavors can mingle and marry. So you need to add more water so you don't dry it out in the process. So just a splash of water. If you're pouring directly from the can, make sure you rinse your tomato can with this water to get every last bit out. Yeah, so it should be right now a little thinner than you want it to be. Don't rush this step, okay? I know it looks like, oh, it looks completely done. That simmering time really brings all the flavors together. Oh, that smells so good. And you can really smell the smoked paprika coming through. And by the way, if you don't like smoked flavor, you can just stick with regular paprika as well, okay? It's not an absolute must. Now, you've got to taste this. This is definitely gonna still be a little under-salted, but we wanna see where we're at. Oh, it's good already, but yes, it definitely needs a little more seasoning. And do you know what I'm gonna do? That's right. I'm gonna do exactly what you think I am going to do. I'm going to add some fish sauce. Woohoo! Yes, before you freak out, this is anything but traditional. They don't put fish sauce in shakshuka. But, I mean, I want to show you that fish sauce is really a useful ingredient beyond Thai cuisine. I mean, it's just salt with a lot of umami flavor. And why would you not want to add that into something like this that could really benefit from it, right? Now, I'm not using fish sauce as the only seasoning. As you saw, I added salt in the beginning because here I don't necessarily want the fish sauce flavor to be prominent. But I have found that when I make anything tomatoey and stewy, even lasagna, like meat sauce, just a dash of fish sauce, just like, it just makes it so much more there's more oomph in it. I am also going to add just a touch of sugar. At this point, what I would normally do is brown sugar, which I forgot to bring. So I'm gonna add some palm sugar. Regular sugar will be fine, just a touch. And you may not need to do this. It just kind of depends on how sweet your tomatoes and your onions are. But when you taste it and if it feels just a little bit sharp, like just a little bit too tangy, not well balanced, a touch of sugar is all you need. And that is it. So you can make a big pan of shakshuka if you want. That's more common, I believe. But as you know, I love all things tiny and mini, so I'm going to make a personal size one with this little pan. This is the same pan that I use for my Thai pan eggs recipe. If you haven't seen that, it's a great recipe. I'll put the link right up here. But I have a similar thing listed in my kit. So if you're interested in buying it online, I'll put the link right in the description below. Or what you can do is use one of these cast iron pans. Same size, it's 6 inches. The reason why I don't prefer this over the tapas pan is because this retains heat really well, and so there's quite a bit of carryover cooking even after you turn off the heat. So your eggs sometimes become overcooked. So if you like your eggs runny, this can be a little risky. All right, let's get started. So in here, I'm gonna put in some of my tomato sauce, and I find just about a cup is enough. I'm gonna turn the heat on. Ooh. Just on low. If your sauce is refrigerated, you want to make sure that you get this hot and bubbly before you put the eggs in. Make a little hole. I'm going to drop one in, and notice I cracked it into a bowl ahead of time so that if I get shells or if I have a broken yolk, I don't have to deal with it in this sizzling bowl or bubbling bowl. At this point, what I like to do, see how the egg white is kind of on top? I like to just go and push the tomato sauce so that the egg white is on the bottom. I find that helps the egg white cook faster. Just push the tomato sauce out of the way. Allow the egg whites to slip under. Cover. So you will need some sort of a lid that fits, and you can cook this for as long as you want, depending on how runny or how firm you like your eggs. I find that 5 minutes at a slow put kind of bubbles work perfectly for me, but if you want harder, firmer eggs, you probably want to stretch that to maybe 7 or 8 minutes. Ooh, look at that. So I'm gonna just turn this off for now because I know it will just continue to cook ever so slightly. Finishing touches. Sorry, for a moment I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Finishing touches. So I am going to add some cilantro. You can do parsley, but I always have cilantro. And now you can top this with anything you want, really. I've seen olives. If you like anchovies, that'll be really good too. It'll definitely go with the fish sauce. Or I love cheese. I love goat cheese on it. You can do feta cheese on it. I feel like anything that you would like on your pizza would be a good topping for this. I'm gonna grab my toast. Sourdough always. Get this baby on a serving plate. Ta-da! How pretty is that? With some crusty sourdough bread, of course. And I'm gonna go in for this guy right here. Oh yes, look at that. So because this is something that cooks from the bottom up, you're not gonna get your over easy, super runny yolk because the bottom of the yolk will naturally cook. Oh, yes. So flavorful. I mean, there's so much going on in there. The tomato sauce is full of spices and tart with all the little chunks of vegetables, and then you've got creamy eggs and creamy cheese and a touch of smoked paprika with that crusty sourdough bread. And it's substantial enough that it would be completely satisfying for dinner, but it's not so heavy that it would be too much for breakfast. I think this is one of those perfect dishes you can have breakfast, lunch, or dinner. If you want it a little heavier, you can add some meat on it, some chorizo, or I don't know, put anchovies on it, ham. I don't know, the options are endless. So when you make it, send me a photo with such a pretty dish on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. If you haven't subscribed to the show, make sure that you do so you don't don't miss an episode, and make sure you click that little bell icon so you get a notification when I post a new video. And the recipe will be on pieskitchen.com. And if you love the show, you want to support us, make sure to check out our Patreon page. We'll put the link in the description below. And I will see you next time for your next delicious adventure. Or, if you're a light eater, you can go with this tiny little one. Look how cute this is.